Alright guys, so today I'm going to be talking about Annie Bot, which was my book of the month pick for March. And this is by Sierra Greer. Sierra Greener, I believe. Or Sierra Greer. Anyways, I also picked up this Murder Road as an add-on. But today though, I'll be reviewing Annie Bot. And I believe it's an early release here in the United States. It'll come out on March 19th. However, on Instagram it was announced that it is actually coming out today in the UK. So I already read this book though, and I have my 2 cents on it, if I like it and if you should read it. So keep on watching for Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. So the books for March or book of the month didn't really stood out to me. This was the one that kind of stood out a little bit, and I decided to venture out and getting it, and so I did. I was surprised. It's a very short book, only 231 pages, and it only has 7 chapters. Each chapter has like around 30 to 40 50 pages each, so they're very hefty chapters with a lot of information about the book, which I think was kind of nice because the flow of the book was really smooth and it gave you really nice checkpoints, and before you know it the book was ending because the chapters are so big. Anyways, I'm rambling on. But anyway, so let's talk about the premise of the story and a little bit of the synopsis if you're interested. So it pretty much talks about a not so distant future where you are able to purchase your own Stella or your own Handy robots, Alexas nowadays, where they're actually human-like and they do your chores, they be your companions, and also they help you to release stress and be sex dolls per se. You can use them if you want to, which in this case they did, but that's not the main focus of the book. Anyways, so Doug is the main character here, and Annie, the book, Annie is also the main character. You have those two the main characters. So the model of the robots in this book are either Stellas for women and Handys, I believe, for a man robot. So Annie is a very special robot that Doug decides to purchase and trains to be more of like a human-like, has more human-like traits, revenge and sorrow and jealousy, and kind of develop those different features, those different feelings that a normal robot does not really get. Now, spoiler alert, but not really. Now, I feel like the author kind of wanted us to give us the impression that Doug was a bad guy, treating her badly, which in my opinion, I don't think he was a bad guy. I think he was a pretty cool guy, a pretty cool owner. One day though, his best friend, Roland, comes to the house and finds her out. He doesn't even know that she's a robot because she's so human-like, but decides to mess up their friendship, and that's kind of where the book starts. To me, that's kind of where it picks up when Roland comes into Doug's house to chat as a friend, and he does something that Doug doesn't really appreciate. More of the drama comes in, the jealousness comes in, and the drama and the fear and the fighting comes in, and I feel like that's kind of where the book to me grows. You kind of get more of Annie's feelings, and she just becomes more of like an object, or she feels like she's like an object even though she doesn't think she is. Now, it was such a good read. I was pleasantly surprised with this book. I've never read anything sci-fi related or among the lines of like robotics. I've seen movies, and I put some insert clips here of the movies that I've seen, but this book I thought it was going to be related to something among the lines like those movies, and it really isn't. It's really on its own lane. I've never really read anything similar to it. If you're interested in something that's sci-fi, they don't really have special powers. It's really interesting, and I really devoured this book. You can definitely read this in one sitting. I didn't, but you can definitely finish this book in one sitting. Amazing book, and I definitely do guys recommend this book for you guys. If I had to give it a rating though, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. The only thing that kind of knocked it out to become a full 5 of 5 star for me was the ending. I was expecting the ending to have like maybe like a second part to it, or be an open-ended book, but it really didn't. It kind of just ended, and you're kind of left off with my climax where I didn't get to finish. I was wanting a little bit more from it, and I didn't. However, judging it from beginning to end and how I was reading the book and I was just immersed into the book, I definitely give it a 4.5 out of 5. The story was well thought out. The characters are well developed. The friends are really not the main focus of the story, which you don't really get to experience the friendships. I feel like the idea was planned out beautifully. In general, the book is really nice and I definitely enjoy it. It's really not so repetitive. If you've never read anything sci-fi or if you're scared to read anything sci-fi like myself, try this book. This book is really nice, and like I said, I was completely shocked about it, and I definitely do recommend you guys to read it. So far, I've only read 5 books, and this is my highest rated so far with only a 4.5 star rating. On Goodreads, I give it a 5 star if I had to round it out, but overall, I definitely enjoy it, and I will definitely recommend this book. And this will probably be on the top 10 list for my book of the year for 2024, even though we're just on March. It's a really good book, and I really recommend it. The pacing, the font is also quite nice. Definitely a good read, and I definitely enjoy it. And I feel like I'm just repeating myself here, but definitely give it a try if you haven't. Annie Bot by Sierra Greer, definitely a 5 star, definitely a book that I recommend. Till I see you guys next time. Kapong arigato gozaimasu.